The Mayor of London does have the express power to expand into outer areas. This is, of course, to do with Ulez. That's been heard at the High Court this week. 5 outer London councils are challenging the plans, alleging that Sadiq Khan acted unlawfully by applying an order varying existing regulations. Look, all of this sounds a bit dull. I assure you that it's not. Let me simplify it for you. Do you fancy having to remortgage your house in order to drive your car to work or pick your kids up from school? If the answer to that is no, then listen up. From the 29th of August, the Labour Mayor wants to expand the Ulez to include the whole of Greater London. So this comes into Buckinghamshire, Surrey, Kent, Essex and Hertfordshire, basically places that have not really got that much to do with London geographically, covering an area 3 times as big as the current zone. Now, if you're watching this, as I know a lot of you are, and you're nowhere near London, you're up north or whatever, just seriously, again, listen up, because the court case that's happening right now could determine whether or not that particularly rural, leafy bit of the world that you live in, or wherever you live at the moment, that really is like an hour outside your nearest city, yeah, the kind of place that you shouldn't really be paying in order to drive around in for clean air, yeah, well, you might be if this court case is successful. This will set the tone for the nation. A judgment from the hearing is expected later this month. I'm very pleased to say I'm joined now by Simon Fawthrop, Conservative councillor for Bromley London Borough Council, and you have had the dubious honour of sitting in a courtroom for the last couple of days, listening to boring waffle. But, how important is it, firstly, that Sadiq Khan is defeated here, and what are the chances?
First of all, it is really, really important that Sadiq Khan is defeated. Frankly, people's livelihoods, people's jobs, people's care packages, whole things like that are affected by it. I know people who are wondering how they're going to go and visit the doctor. These are old people that just physically can't do it. And it's remarkable that it's so important that even the Labour candidate in Uxbridge has decided to come out against Ulez.
Of course,
because I think the writing's on the wall rather. And I think the chances are pretty good. I have to say, and you don't often say this about judges, the judge seemed to be really fair-minded. He was asking probing questions, not only of our side, but of the other side, of the TfL side of the case. And he seemed to be really switched on. So I hope he's going to take, he said, up to the end of July, possibly, to reach and reserve his judgment. All right,
so let's just put this into a bit of context for people who, say, live near Liverpool or Manchester or Birmingham. Let's try and contextualise this. So how far outside London would some people be living where they would drive their car off their driveway and then get, I think, we'll have to pay £12.50 for the privilege, essentially?
Literally, there's some people that are like 2 metres off the boundary because they have to come out through the Ulez zone to go and drive before they can get out. And there's literally people that are affected like that. But, of course, you forget that London is a massive city. We've got a huge population. People come from all over to visit their relatives. Things like that are going to stop. You know, I have very, very elderly parents who will be deterred from it. Their car isn't Ulez compliant.
No.
At their time of life, you know, they're more worried about how long they'll last, whether they'll get a new car.
Yeah.
So
he'd already bought the cameras, apparently, before he'd done the public consultation. Then anybody who turned up to oppose it, and this video is available online, by the way, which include a wide-ranging demographic of people, hugely working-class group. Apparently they were all far-right. Oh, you're all far-right. If you oppose the Ulez, then you are just far-right, which is absolutely bonkers, isn't it? I mean, this could cripple people.
It certainly could. And, you know, we're experiencing that. And I'll give you some examples. In our hospitals, some of the nurses that work outside the area...
Far-right nurses.
Sorry,
they're all,
having problems. We laugh, but it's serious.
Yeah.
People are really affected. Our social workers are thinking of quitting and not coming in. So that's people's livelihoods.
Yeah.
So, and then, of course, if you look at my Safer Neighbourhood team in the ward that I represent, none of those live in the area. If they've got to come in as well, that's the police force, effectively. So all of our key services are under threat.
This is it. In order to sacrifice ourselves, yet again, at an altar of net zero, and surrender ourselves without any police, nurses or social care workers. I mean, you couldn't make it up. Well, thank you very much. Great to have you in the studio, and thank you very much for attending that court, being our kind of roving reporter almost as well, our court case there. So Simon Fawthrop there, Conservative councillor for Bromley London Borough Council. Look, like I said, I don't think you fancy this happening in a town or city near you, but mark my words, there's every chance that it will. But next, and this is big.